About this particular heat is that right now you could literally almost throw a blanket over all three of these in the points standings as we sit right now. In fifth place is Bert Henderson. He's got 619 points. Just 35 points behind him is the 98 in the Graham Trucking of Corey Peabody. And just 21 points behind him is the 99.9 in the Brian Perkins.
Well, just imagine if we get all three to finish, they're going to have a boatload of points.
So what's going to end up happening here is that the winner of this race and the second place finisher of this race will be on to the final in the front row. The third place boat in this race will be your trailer. So that is where we sit as we get ready for Heat 4B.
Awesome job. Points recap brought to you by Perfection Miller Paint. Just off Steptoe in Kennewick. Perfection Miller Paint. All right, so across the start-finish line is the 98 Graham Trucking American Dream with Corey Peabody. Coming out of the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. You got Perkins, and then just about to the Bosch Thermador appliance start-finish line is Bert Henderson in the 7 Boitano Homes. A reminder for all swimmers both sides of the river, we need you out of the water and on the shore. All swimmers need to be out of the water and on the shore. Let's go over to Tire Factory turn number 2. Kevin, you've got a couple of boats coming to you, but they're going to cut across the Esco Electric infield. Are both of them coming? Yes, they are.
They are indeed. The 7 with the Boitano Homes and Bert Hotshot Henderson, followed closely by the 99.9 Brian Perkins. Both trying to, I think, claim lane 1.
Well, look at Esco Electric infield. Also an incursion by the 98. Corey Peabody came backstretch to front stretch.
Yeah, he did the front stretch to backstretch cut too last time. So they are, they know what's at stake to this particular heat. And none of them want to be the trailer boat. So they are all going to be, this is going to be all out high intensity racing.
2 minutes and 10 seconds, guys. 2:10.
There goes the 98 again.
Oh, Perkins is coming across through the Esco Electric infield.
I think you'll see the 98 cut one more time on that other end down there, trying to get a little more in line with the other two boats.
I think he's just liking the 1 3/4 course better.
He just wants to run GP courses, the 5-liter GP courses.
Boy, they got to watch some strobe lights here.
You're right, Brad. You know, Henderson is moving pretty slow. Perkins is looking even slower coming down the front stretch.
Well, when he cut across, he was pretty darn close to you at 2 minutes, and that's unofficial. It's just something I use. And, well, it's 1:30 now, and he's still got another couple hundred yards. So maybe they're okay. He's going to get to the entrance pin of this quarter in lane 1 at 1:23.
Oh, Henderson's cutting.
There goes that. Oh, boy. Now, what's that going to do to him? Going to have to watch his blinker when we head up the backstretch. Kevin, they're right in front of you.
They are. Henderson will be able to take lane 1, but how does he scrub off speed if he's early?
That's really slow. The red boat is really slow.
Well, Kevin gave us the points here, and clearly first and second place is worth fighting for.
Yeah, there is barely a rooster tail coming off of that 7 down the backstretch.
But you can't afford a penalty either, Brad.
No, you can't, and I don't have my official radio up here.
All right, so...
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, and we have not heard of a strobe warning.
Good.
40 seconds, 40 seconds.
And you mentioned that because there's a GPS tracker on board. If they go below 80, the strobe light goes off, and drivers are notified to pick it back up. They get one warning.
They've been told all to pick it up.
Well,
I guess if they all get a 1-minute penalty,
that's a level.
Good point, Brian.
Doesn't it?
Good, Brian.
Just becomes a 5-lap heat. 20 seconds.
Henderson, the 7 on the inside. Perkins is in lane number 2 in the 99.9, and then on the outside you'll have the 98 Graham Trucking
10
with Corey Peabody. They're just at the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Onto the front stretch to the Bosch Thermador appliance start finish line. Deck to deck to deck.
1. Mark.
It is a clean start, and it's going to be Perkins leading, challenging him outside. Peabody in the 98.
Peabody's coming down here with quite a bit of speed, but he's now starting to give a little bit of ground. We're going to be dead even at the entrance pin. Henderson in 1, Perkins in 2.
But Henderson has the short course and a little bit of smooth water for now at turn number 2, and he's able to take the lead as they fly down the backstretch. But Perkins starting to gain on him. as he gets right on the right hip of the 7.
Yeah, Peabody's fading back about a rooster tail behind the leaders right now, and it's Perkins behind by about a boat length coming up the backstretch. Henderson into Agri-Service turn 1 and Tire Factory turn number 2 had perfect water, Kevin, just like you mentioned. It was really nice water for him to get around smoothly. Into turn number 3, Freedom Equipment Rentals, and now to Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Henderson in the 7 on the inside has the lead, and he's pushing out into lane number 2. He came out a little bit wide, forcing Perkins out even wider. Perkins is back about 5 boat lengths as they come up to the start-finish line. So Henderson with the lead. Perkins is trying to gain on him, and he is kind of reeling him in coming down the front stretch. Perkins with a beautiful run into Agri-Service turn number 1.
Yeah, and Perkins has got a lot of air. And brand new hydroplane. He lifted it up a little bit higher than he wanted to. He's back about 5 boat lengths, Kevin.
But Henderson again with the short course, and he's going to take every foot of that 30, and Perkins gets washed down a little bit, has to back off, and now it's about a rooster tail lead for the 7. I'll be interested to see if there's any kind of lane violations. That was close.
You know, we saw that at the top end of the course as Henderson was moving out a little bit wide, sliding out a little bit wide. Green flag remains out on the course, and Henderson into turn number 3, Freedom Equipment Rentals over to Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 with a half rooster tail lead. And he's on the inside, and he's going to be hugging the buoy line a little bit closer this time at the exit pin of turn number 4 onto the front stretch. Now we'll see if Perkins can start to eat away at Henderson's lead in the 7, Boitano Homes. Across the start finish line now, and Perkins across now. Perkins is trying, and he's gaining a little bit of ground, but he's going to have a tough time with the inside lane. And the 7 with Boitano Homes and Bert Henderson in that lane number 1.
Yeah, he's got pretty much a rooster tail coming to you, Kevin.
He does, and we heard Jimmy Shane talk in the last heat about using the rooster tail as a way to deter the vehicles or the boats behind you. I think Henderson has been trying to use that tool. That's now about a rooster tail and a half lead as they go down the backstretch. Here comes the 98 around. Now he's still battling, hoping there's a mistake somewhere in front of him.
Fastest lap so far is lap number 2 for Henderson in the 7, 144.736 miles per hour, and he's got that inside lane, and he is pulled away by a rooster tail and about a quarter as they come into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Henderson at the exit pin, and now Perkins comes to the exit pin. It'll come down the front stretch with a white flag out in Heat 4B, brought to you by Trust Company here at Waterfolly's HAPO Columbia Cup. One more lap to go for Bert Henderson in the 7, and he was packing some air underneath that boat.
Yeah, he really is. They both are. They've been flying, both of them, pretty high. I think Brian Perkins understands Kevin's math over there, that a second-place finish, the way they've got it calculated, will put him on the front row of the final. Let Bert go. Let's fight this thing later on this afternoon. Kevin, right to you.
Yeah, Bert was beautiful through that turn, too. The water a little bit rough for Perkins. Not quite as smooth, but, boy, what a great turn, and it's going to be Henderson's race to lose. With Perkins up the backstretch, the 98, Corey Peabody now.
Well, Kevin, you mentioned that. We've seen, well, for example, the 3, final turn, final lap, have a problem. We go dead in the water. So at the top end of the course into Freedom Equipment Rentals, turn number 3, wall of water off the skid pin. Here comes Bert Henderson in the Boitano Home 7 to the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers, turn number 4, and he'll come down the front stretch for the checkered flag, Heat 4B from Trust Company. Checkered flags out for Bert Henderson, and the 7 gets 400 big points with that victory across the Bosch Thermador Appliance start-finish line on News Radio 610 KONA at 610KONA.com. Perkins backs off the throttle, and he'll bring it in for a second-place finish. And third place for Corey Peabody in the 98 Graham Trucking American Dream. So the inside lane, a little bit of smoother water in the first couple of laps for Bert Henderson proved to be the difference, but Perkins did not give up through those 2.5 laps, did he?
No, he really didn't.
Fighting it.
And I think he probably just got the message. All right, we ran with him. I wanted to see if I could catch him again. And let him go, pick up his second place. Big 300 points.
Yeah, looking at the speeds, and the top speed again, it was actually lap number 3 for the 7 at Bert Henderson, just over 142 miles per hour. Water conditions couldn't be much better with the wind laying down, Kevin Rounce, in Tire Factory turn number 2.
It really has. It is much calmer. A little bit of chop of the water, not a lot. and just a little breeze, and it is a gorgeous day. We have got a wild and fun afternoon ahead of us, and this weather is, this is about, in my 6 years of coming to the Columbia Cup on the river here, this is about as good a weather as I think I've ever seen for a Sunday.
Well, we haven't hit 90 yet. Looking for a high of about 91 degrees this afternoon, but we haven't been able to get that at the Pasco Tri-Cities Airport, at least not yet. Last check, and it looks like 87 degrees, and a light wind out of the south-southwest at 6 miles per hour. Still searching for a high, and really the high temperature doesn't hit until 5, 6 in the afternoon. Of 91 today. Our weather forecast update from Anderson Dental online at KennewickSmiles.com. You know, the hot weather means your vehicle is working even harder. Richland Auto Care Center is a certified nationwide Napa Auto Care Center. That means they have the peace of